Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name is Carter. I'm joined by Nate, and this is going to be... Hey, none of that.
What?
This is a no fun zone right here.
Yeah, no fun. Not allowed.
Hey, no. You keep your voice down. There's no fun.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do I need to
the volume,
the volume
the
or the tone
the
of it?
excitement. Yes, just no inflections, just as basic as you can
Okay, so
possibly
it
make
needs to be a little bit more like John Tortorella.
Yeah.
Right? No fun.
Yeah.
No fun. Okay, got it.
Because apparently the Minnesota Wild hate fun.
And with a team name like the Wild, you'd think they'd be up for some fun.
You think they'd be a little more crazy, right?
Something.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? You can't just look at somebody score a Michigan goal on you and be like, you know what? Let's just give this guy a hand. Like he deserves it. That was amazing to watch. Was it offside? Yeah, but like we don't care. We'll get it back.
Which I guess we're kind of going a little everywhere. We did get it back. Pavel Regenda got it back for his first NHL goal. Yeah. So congrats to him.
He gets the keyboard, not the sarcastic clap.
Not the sarcastic clap, yeah. Yeah, okay. I want to go just a little bit farther back in the day because something that I missed before the pre-recorded stuff, I guess that's going to come tomorrow, later this episode, depending on when you're listening to this.
Yeah. If you're a keener, in like about an hour.
Yeah. Adam Henrique not in the lineup tonight against Minnesota because he's anticipating being a dad. So good on, yeah. Congrats to the Henriques, I guess, a little bit in advance because as far as we know, baby hasn't been born yet, but yay, babies. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just to get out of that out of the way, but yeah. Okay, that offside call, is that technically right?
Technically it is. The skate is off the ice. Well, I mean, that doesn't matter anymore, but it's like it's past the blue line, you know. The off the ice skate is past the blue line. Yeah.
Okay, so now here's my question though. The offside call that we talked about against the Sharks the other day.
Yeah.
Should that not have been deemed offside? Like, this is the consistency thing that I'm talking about with NHL officials in the situation room.
Yes,
like,
but it's different because the Sharks guy was changing, so he's good. You know, that's the
and you know what? Both guys wiped their asses like as well. Like it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
No, it is 100%. Yeah.
Oh, he's changing. Okay, then don't put a fucking door there.
Yeah, put it on the other side of the blue line.
Tell the rink staff to move the door, right? You can still have the bench there. Yeah, move the door. Jeez, if that's gonna be the thing that we're going for, and even then he didn't use the door. The guy jumped over the bench. Like
because the door wasn't open fast enough. Yeah.
Like fuck.
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
So yeah.
It just stings more because it was a Michigan goal, right? And like it was so sick. It was just such a sick goal that doesn't. Yeah, it's not even going to be in the NHL history books. Like you're not going to see it in highlights. You're not going to find it in the game
I think
logs.
we're still going to see it in highlights because it was still throughout both of like the TQR and my personal Twitter feeds throughout the game. Even the TNT broadcast continued to bring it up, even though like they straight up said, they're like, we know it's not a goal, but we have to take one more look at this. Oh, we know it's not a goal, but we got to see this one more time.
Oh right? Yeah. Like tomorrow's highlights, like on whatever sports show you watch, like it's going to be there. But like at the end of the year, when they do top 10 goals out of, sorry.
I don't have the comments open. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's our buddy Bader saying hi, Carter. Bader. Not to you. Not to you, Nate, just to me.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, there it is. You come in after.
Okay. I assumed he couldn't get both in there at once because of his hand right now. So
gotta type one hand at a time.
Yeah, exactly. So but I'll give him the leeway there.
What was
but anyway, but
I don't remember what I was saying. So
I don't know. We were complaining about the goal offside. Oh yeah, right. It was
highlights.
It's highlights. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're at the end of the year, they're not going to show it in like top 10 highlights, or top 10 goals highlights because it's technically not a goal. So
yeah, I mean,
which is dumb.
I mean, you could with how officiating has been this year, not just for the Ducks even, but just across the NHL. you could put it together at least a top 10 of miscalled goals.
Yeah, or like
You
goals called
could
back.
easily, yeah.
Top.
Or,
You could do a
yeah.
top 50 on it, like the misplays of the month that they do. That's like 50 or
Yeah.
50 plays,
And
or
it's
NHL's best.
It's purely no, actually, I want a 50 misplays, and it's purely just the NHL officials fucking up, and it's just gonna be from October to mid-November. That's
Yeah.
it. So we're gonna have multiple episodes of the misplay of the, or I guess it's misplay of the month. Okay, yeah, you could easily fill out a top 50 for just NHL officials this season,
100%.
and like you could already almost fill up an NHL officials one for November. Just like you could fill up a quarter of it just on the Ducks alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's okay. There's a little bit of bias there, but then taking a step back, you could almost fill a top 50 already. It's November 9th. Like,
Yeah. It's
Jesus.
pretty ridiculous. I see Lauren's joined us in the
great.
chat again, the quack, and her usual Dallas Eakins, sorry, slander.
Yeah, it's okay. Is it a little bit on Eakins tonight? I guess we might as well get into it, because like the first two periods, they were good, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, solid.
Like it was fine. The third period, this is where
the effort was there.
Entire team, from coaching staff down to fourth line guys, everybody all together just imploded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Never mind. I said the third period was like the effort was there, but it really wasn't. Actually.
Oh no. The first two periods was where the effort was.
Apparently, I tuned out of the third period. So
you know what? That's fair. I totally get it. Because yeah, you're taking just shit shots. You're giving turnovers constantly, right? Or giving the puck away. You're just, you know what? Again, there were some not great calls by the officials on both sides. Okay, I'll make it even on both sides. There were some not great calls, but, and maybe it's just because of the little bit of more to the Anaheim lens that I'm looking through here, but like the Max Jones one that led to the first goal against in the second period there, that's a hook.
That's
not even a hook in Timbits hockey. Like, what the fuck?
Like all they did was see his stick was up near the hands, and that they were like hooking. So
the Ducks to themselves, and I talk about this a little bit later. If you're listening to the full episode, this is where this gets confusing. If you're listening to the full episode, I do talk about penalties later on. For those that are listening live, you're going to get it now, and I guess the people later are going to get it twice.
They get it a second time.
But like, as much as the refs aren't helping in any case, it seems, right? You have to take less penalties. And I know that's easier said than done, right? Some are just circumstantial and whatnot, but like some of these are avoidable.
There was I would say 3 of them tonight were probably avoidable, especially because they were like, we're already killing a penalty, and then you take another one.
Yeah,
like saying that game hurted. Yeah, it really did.
And okay, so you know what? You want to take away 3 penalties, right? That like didn't need to be called is not the right term.
No, but they could have been avoided. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been avoided. That drops you down to 3 power play chances against.
And that's what we talked about
That's what we talked about later.
Yeah. Is like the 5 against Florida, you take off the couple that were pretty unnecessary, you're down to 3. So like it's just the little things that just need to be cleaned up and taken care of, because obviously the refs are calling them.
Yeah.
So, and
again, to go on to the power play actually here for a second, 0 for 4 tonight.
Again, I thought we had it figured out. We had 2 against San Jose. Was that who it was?
Yes. Yeah, 2. No,
hey,
Vancouver.
Andrew, how's it going?
Vancouver, that's who
it
was.
Yeah.
I think
to be fair though, it's Vancouver.
I think the Zegras one was supposed to be a power play goal, if I'm not mistaken, before it got called back. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like we had something that was a power play goal and then wasn't, and that's I think the one that
it might have been that one then. Yeah.
But
what was that? Beginning of the second period?
Yeah, this is the beginning there. But I mean,
Yeah.
like penalty minutes overall in this game, like, yes, there were a lot of chances. There was a lot of penalty minutes in this game. First, let me just say that 57 for the Ducks, 53 for the Wild.
There was 10-minute misconducts at the end, to be fair.
Yeah, there were a few there, right? But like, what is it? The Ducks and the Wild not liking each other is not something I really had on like my bingo card for this year, even though we've kind of like seen it, I guess, in a couple of games last season. But like, these are two teams that really don't play each other a whole lot. Like, this is not what I expected to be a rivalry, I guess. So
yeah, it's it's just weird. Like, I would have pegged it for Arizona, right? Because of how last season ended, and like obviously like the state rivals in San Jose and LA.
Makes more sense.
Like any other division rival, really, but like there's
not
really any history between Minnesota. But I mean, whatever. I mean, they do play a very physical game, to be fair.
Do.
So
yeah.
And then you have to play Kaprizov pretty physically. So I think tensions just kind of build.
Which they did tonight as well, right? Like one of the fights or scraps, whatever, was like the result of him kind of getting like bodied around a little bit.
Yeah.
That is one of the things I have in my notes here, at least, of like a lot of rough stuff. Like, honestly, overall, the games that I've watched NHL wise, and that's between Ducks games, Flames games, if there's just a game on just for like background or whatever, like this is the most like pushing and shoving after whistles and fights and whatnot that like I've seen in a while, actually.
It's because the last couple of years you didn't really want to get close enough to breathe on anybody.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're like, I really don't want to have to like not play hockey for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So.
And then you got tonight of Matt Dumba just being like, you know what? Fuck Max Comtois in particular tonight. So let's just make sure I get my glove all up in his face there. So
yeah. Couple more comments I just want to bring up here. Resident non-Ducks fan here saying, proud of Arugula for scoring his first goal. Regenda. Yes. Or Regenda. I've heard it both ways.
Regenda. Get on the Regenda agenda, everybody.
And
shout out to Last Rivals pod for that one.
Yeah. Andrew saying, lucky that I didn't watch the game tonight and others because of the 56th CMA Awards.
Oh, sweet.
Music Awards. Nice. If you're into country music, then I guess that is on tonight.
Just like a lot of rough stuff.
Oh, sorry.
On.
We got to talk about my hair for a sec. There's one more. Yes, I do. It's just not as like. Oh, I'll pull it the other way. But oh god, I can't.
It's not as flowy today.
Yeah, it's just not as flowy. So it's kind of hiding back there. But cameras are hard, man. Turn to my. It's not mirrored for me, right? So it's
that's fair. A lot of rough stuff. Just like it seemed like almost every whistle, it felt like there was something
like a face wash or like a little shove here and there was like pretty standard.
Like, I know this game started late because again, we're waiting not as long, but we're waiting for a national broadcast to wrap up over on the East Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like,
even then,
this game still ended later than you would have anticipated, just because of all the stuff that was happening between whistles.
Yeah, right. Like, it didn't start them like super late, but it was still a 2-hour, 45-minute game.
Yeah, it was
that didn't even go to overtime.
It was a 7:22 Pacific start, is what the Ducks had tweeted out.
Yeah.
So,
and then that's okay. So 2.5, but yeah, it was still longer. You're right.
It was still longer, yeah. So, what else did I
do hate though that like is there
anything that you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just it's more so about the national broadcast. Like, I get that you want to wait until the game is over, but then like we had 15 minutes of Biz Nasty like trying to get Sidney Crosby to say something exciting, and like I was like, can we, like, I don't even care about this and that. I don't care about what the rest of the panel like. Yeah,
the hockey Mount Rushmore and that kind of thing. It's like that's something you guys can do later tonight. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It was just like I wanted to get to the game. Like, I get if there's time in between, or if you want to do like a quick couple questions, but like it was going on, and I was like, why are we doing this when there's another game waiting to start?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's ridiculous. Like I don't even give a shit about TNT. Like I'm not, like I don't really even like anyone on the panel. I don't like the announcers. Like so, but I was forced to listen to them because that's the
Really,
broadcast we got here.
no Boyle for you? I like
Uh,
Boyle personally, but I guess I also
no,
watch the PLL and he does the play-by-play for that as well. So
okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
I like when Boyle's doing the
Is he
play-by-play
the
for.
main guy?
Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
play-by-play
I
guy.
don't know.
Yeah.
At least tonight, anyways, I noticed he just fucked up a lot. Like he said a lot of things, and then I was like, is that what he meant to say? And then sometimes he would correct himself, but other times, like there was one time he
Yeah,
said
that's
like
fair.
Kaprizov and Boldy were fighting, and I was like, I don't think that's who you mean because they're on the same team. Like, yeah, they're both in the shot, but that's not who you're talking about. So like,
That's
it's
fair.
just yeah,
And to
just
be
as one
fair,
example.
like outside of, you know, people in California and us, I guess, who's overly paying attention to the Anaheim Ducks right now?
No, not many
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
So just to give a little bit of a benefit of the doubt there, but
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, is there anything else about the game in specific that you wanted to talk about? I think I have
Um,
one more point here. Otherwise,
yeah,
we've kind of,
not
or I
really.
guess I got
Like,
two more. So yeah.
well, I actually am curious. I doubt that they really have all the stats up, but just your thoughts as well on John Gibson. Like, I thought he still put together a solid game. Like, yeah, he let in 3 goals in the third period, but I think it
Yeah,
was more of
this
like the team falling apart around him. Like, he was very solid. Definitely for the first 2 periods, and it seemed like for the third, and he faced almost 40 shots again. I don't know what the final count was, but 39 is
39.
what they
Yeah,
have it at right now. So,
this game is not on John Gibson
mhm.
whatsoever. Like you might look at the save percentage, oh, an 897. Like that's not great. Okay, but then let's go take a look at my favorite goalie stat, goal save above expected, right? Guy put up a positive 0.62, so rounded to 1, right? Like definitely made some good saves in that game for sure and bailed his team out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought Gibby played just fine. Like that's the type of game that I've been talking about him like just trying to consistently have again,
Yeah.
right? And like that gives us chances there.
Mhm.
He had 27 low danger shots against or attempts against 14 medium, 5 high. And all no low danger goals against, 1 medium danger, and the other 3 were high danger goals against, right? And
Yeah.
that's more on his defense, right? Which
Mhm.
I guess leads into another point here a little bit of like that was a short defense that they were playing with tonight, right? Because
Mhm.
Shattenkirk was out at some point there. I think it was Bolio was out at one point.
After the fight, I don't think he played
Yeah.
after his
So
fight.
we're
And we
running
only dressed. Did we only dressed 6?
we only dressed 6. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're running 4 defensemen, right? So you could see the mental lapses like happening, especially in that third period, because guys are just
Yeah.
bagged at that point.
I do think generally Gibson bailed those out, like because it was the we were down Beaulieu in the second after his fight.
Yeah.
Shattenkirk played the whole second, but then the 2 goals early on in the third period that Minnesota got to make it, I guess, 3-1. I have a hard time chalking that up to just like, oh, you're tired, mental lapses, because that was your first game in 3 days. Like you're not really feeling the effects of the short bench that early in the third period, I don't think. And so I think those were just like actual structural breakdowns, and then
Yeah.
all the chances we gave up kind of after that you could chalk up to.
Once you're in the PKs, right? That's
Yeah.
when you're definitely gonna have those lapses. And half the goals scored for Minnesota tonight were on their power play, right? Only 2 of them were scored 5-on-5. And I'm taking a look here. Fowler Benoit was the one pairing, and
Mm.
Kulikov Fowler. So Fowler on, unfortunately, for both the 5-on-5 goals, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, even looking at like those 2 pairings numbers together, like, yeah, Fowler was definitely getting like double shifted, I think, without like looking at like his total time on ice. Cause like
Mhm.
him with Benoit, 5-on-5, 8 minutes, 7 seconds. him with Kulikov 6 minutes 49 seconds. So like that's a
Mhm.
good amount of time on ice already. And then if
Yeah.
we take a look here,
Well-
the guy played 24 minutes. Klingberg played
Yeah.
29 and a half. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit. He played 20. Jeez. And yeah, I think a lot of those minutes from Fowler came because starting at 2:22 in the third period, we had a defenseman at least one defenseman in the box.
Yeah.
And for like the next 3 minutes, essentially, because Klingberg took a penalty. Benoit took a penalty 40 seconds later. And then just as that one was ending, Klingberg puts the puck over the glass. So, and then Benoit takes a roughing penalty. I guess that's only with a minute left anyways. So that,
Yeah.
holy shit. Yeah, that was a lot of penalties at the end. But anyways, so like obviously Fowler would have had to make up those minutes.
Yeah, and like Fowler alone played 2.5 minutes shorthanded. Benoit played 5:12 shorthanded, and he has out of the guys that finished the game on defense there, he played the least amount of minutes at almost 23. Like that is a lot of ice time for some of these guys, right?
Who definitely aren't used to that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Fowler at the 24-minute mark there, Kulikov at 27. And Klingberg at 29 and a half. Okay, but then I also look at that. And I get it. We were on the PK quite a bit, right? And the PK, let's be honest, wasn't out as long comparatively at times than the power play, right?
Yeah.
But like Klingberg's out there for 6 minutes on special teams alone.
Yeah.
Out of his 29 and a half. Like there with a guy like Klingberg, like he is a offensive defenseman, right? Offense is his first thing that he's worried about, right?
Yeah.
And when you get into a game like that one, especially getting to the third period, like, don't you want to have a little bit more of your defensive guys? Like, and again, I get it, they're gassed, but like, it's kind of when I look at the time on ice that I kind of look at Dallas Eakins and just his deployment and kind of just question. Right? Like, is Klingberg and Kulikov the guys that you should have been throwing out there realistically? So, like, I get you're trying to get goals, but when you're constantly in the third period, at least when you're on your heels for 19 of the 20 minutes,
right? But we did only have 4 guys to choose from, and Fowler and Benoit have to rest at some point. So,
yeah. It's
a tricky situation when you have 2 defensemen go down. But
yeah, it is. But it's just like if you flip the numbers, say of like Fowler, Benoit for Klingberg, Kulikov, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
right. It's just
honestly though, like at that point they should have. At that point, Dallas Eakins should have looked down the bench and been like, "Anyone want to play defense?"
Yeah, exactly.
Jones, Comtois, anybody? Like,
yeah. Hey, Godden, you're only playing 11 and a half minutes tonight. Let's, and actually, no. Glenn Godden played almost 5 minutes shorthanded. Okay, interesting.
I mean, when your penalty kill's that bad and you take that many penalties, you kind of have to shake things up. But
Godden, I guess, seems to be the replacement for Derek Grant, who didn't play in that game, who's normally that, like, point guy, I guess, on the defensive end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just kind of like looking through a few things, and it's just a touch interesting just seeing like the time on ice and just kind of the deployment a little bit there.
Yeah, no, it is interesting.
Like
I think
I get Regenda's a young guy, but like he scored your goal. You're only playing him 856. Like let's change it up here a little bit. So clearly, what you're doing, especially for the last 14 games, is not working, right?
Yeah.
It's time to change things up. So,
yeah. Let's take a quick break here with our friends over at DraftKings. And then we've got probably a couple more things just to touch on quickly before the end of this part of the episode. Or if you're watching live, the end of the episode.
I guess it's whatever else you have. I think I got most of my stuff out.
Okay. Yeah.
But
But we'll take just a quick 60-second break here.
NFL Sundays are only getting better, and so are the incredible offers at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, and point totals. With bigger payouts than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is my go-to when betting on the NFL. So, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the promo code THPN, and place a $5 pre-game moneyline bet to get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Again, that's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
I just quickly wanted to chat about what our defense is going to do now, because we have Shattenkirk out, we've got Drysdale out, Vakanainen, Beaulieu potentially. I don't know.
4 guys. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah,
and
like,
I mean, I guess as of right now, though, we don't know if Shattenkirk and Beaulieu are going to be out like long term.
Yeah.
For all we know, they could be back on Saturday against the Blackhawks, and it's a non-issue, right? But
Shattenkirk right now is listed as day-to-day with a lower body. Beaulieu, there's been nothing about, so not.
But
totally
you're right;
sure
it does warrant a little bit of a conversation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Beaulieu, I'm concerned because it was immediately after the fight, so my first instinct is to think it's like a hand injury of some sort, which obviously takes a little bit of time to heal depending on the severity of it. But I didn't really see anything that would indicate a broken hand, but it's still enough, right? So but yeah, with Shattenkirk and his age and it just being lower body, I don't know if I don't even know what. I don't think they really could pinpoint a play with it.
And John Moore is out too on the defense.
Yeah. And I mean, he's never played a game with us, but like he's still a guy that's on our roster and hasn't isn't going to play. So so it's just concerning. Like what are our options at this point? Like I guess we can call up Brouillard from the AHL, but I think he's more of an offensive defenseman. Like we have Colton White in the wings, but like we're losing like consistent guys. Point, so.
I'm trying to take a look at some of our depth right now. Why am I not seeing Brouillard?
Is he maybe just an AHL contract?
I think he is. Oh no, actually I feel uneasy saying that now.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Anyways, Oliu Levy, though, in terms of like actual depth that's at least listed here for me. Yeah, Oliu Levy might be coming to play some NHL time here pretty quickly. Him or Austin Strand. Because like I don't think you want to bring up like Drew Hellison or Axel Anderson, right, as like a 21 and a 22-year-old just yet, right? Bring up the 24 or 25-year-old that has a little bit more just professional experience overall.
Yeah, right. And like you don't want to bring those young guys up to this team at this point in the season when you're trying to turn things around and like hopefully get wins and push for a playoff spot, because like it's kind of now or never sort of thing.
Yeah, we do have Chris in the chat saying like call up Hellison from the Gulls maybe. So that's but Chris's next comment here is what I'm thinking. Claim Mike Riley off of waivers, who was just put on there today by the Boston Bruins. The
probably
Ducks,
to make room for McAvoy to come back. I think he's this week or next week. So
which fuck the Bruins on that. Jesus Christ.
Right? Ruining everybody's predictions. Like
exactly. Okay, let's take a look at the standings. Should be updated, I guess, now, so we can see
I think so.
where, because I do forget this one all the time, if it's based on last year's standings or if it's based on the current standings for.
It's based off of last year's standings until a certain point of the season. I think it's November 1st.
Okay, so
It might
Anaheim,
be December 1st though. Let me check.
Okay, so either if it's December 1st, Anaheim's got what, the second or third choice selection. If we're going by right now on November 1st, they have the fourth right now because they're sitting 29th in the league. So, and that does look to be updated. That's after 14 games now. So,
if the player's placed on waivers after November 1st, then the claim order goes by the current season's standings. Yeah.
Okay, so
before then, it's last year's reverse standings.
Yeah. Okay. So Columbus, St. Louis, and Ottawa, and I don't think they're in a crazy bind for defensemen right now. So
I don't think so.
Pat Verbeek, man, you got to help your team out just a little bit here, right? Like, not saying that he hasn't overall, right? He has done things,
but now something has to be done.
In season thing right now, like you gotta help them out a little bit, right? Because
like Mike Riley is basically a gift to you at this point. Like, is he the best defenseman you could possibly get? No, but when you need to bring somebody in now,
absolutely.
Yeah, dude's played however many NHL games. It's enough that I know his name.
300 some. I'm just pulling up his stats right now. Here, I got it right here. Yeah, 339 games under his belts. Been playing in the league since 2015.
He's kind of split those between Montreal and Boston. Is that right?
Minnesota for the first 2.5 years, and then Montreal for another 2.5, then Ottawa for 1.5, then Boston.
Oh, okay.
Boston since 2020, 2021. So
okay, cool. I also did look up Brouillard. He is not signed to an NHL deal, but obviously
that might be a thing though, where hey, you have to. I like Brouillard is. Yikes! Brouillard's maybe your best chance right now at like somebody solid
and somebody who's already in the system. Like, I'm assuming there's not a ton of difference between the NHL and the AHL systems, like the Ducks and Gulls systems, I should say. So
it's okay. Is it adding? Okay, what are the Ducks at for contracts? They can't be near enough.
No.
For to be close to the top. I mean,
45 out of 50. So you claim more, you sign Brouillard, you're still at 47.
Yeah, you can make that work. Yeah. So again, I'm not Pat Verbeek. I'm not a guy who has an NHL GM job. If I was in that position, though, I would definitely be looking at claiming Mike Riley and hey, Nick, we're gonna sign you to an NHL deal because we need a little bit of support up here. So like, we know we're not doing great, but like, we just need guys who can play the position that. Yeah, they can play the position, basically.
Yeah.
So
because like
I got nothing else for you. Just play the position, please. So
because
we're desperate at this point, and we need like the younger guys to still could try to develop in the AHL. So
exactly, because like right now we really only need one guy because Colton White is coming up, but another defenseman goes down, we're fucked, right?
Yeah,
like so it's it's pretty desperate now. I would say, but But yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Hopefully we get some news on Shattenkirk in the next couple days, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. Same with Beaulieu as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get something about Vakanainen too. That would be nice to know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Is there anything else for this game that you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Stuff, yeah.
I was gonna say, I guess before we wrap up, and speaking of injuries, Andrew in the chat here, did you hear about Kane's scary injury from the night before? Yeah, obviously Carter's a Oilers fan, right? So you were watching that game, I think. And
I had worked late last night, so I had just gotten home and turned the game on, and it was just after that, so I didn't know what was going on. But my dad had texted me, and he was like, pretty scary what happened to Kane. And I was like, what? And he was like, you got to rewind it. So I just hit skip back a few times, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, that is that's terrifying.
I came across the clip on Twitter after like you and Adam were kind of talking about it a little bit, and I kept watching the hit and his right hand at first, and I'm like, okay, like did like a stick clip somehow, and then it was like showing, oh no, it's the left hand, and I was like watching the left throughout the hit, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I was listening a bit more to like the broadcast guys talking about it, and they were talking about the skate over. So then I'm like kind of watching Kane skate. I'm like, okay, like did he have like some weird like contortion that he?
Yeah.
I was like kind of watching it a little bit more, and then I saw Maroon's like it like just goes over. It looks like.
Yeah.
But even that just over with how sharp those blades are, right?
And how exposed that area is too. Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh shit. And then saw the blood and him skating off, and I'm like, holy crap. You know, like I'm not a fan of him overly as a player, as a person, but you know, like you don't wish like harm for somebody in like for like that kind, I guess. Like I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I don't wish harm on Evander Kane. There we go.
Yeah.
And that one is like that is a thing that if that skate had been like a little bit harder in, right, could have potentially ruined his career. So luckily he was able to get to a hospital and he's fine. It came out today, what, 3 to 4 months. He's going to be on the injury reserve. So that's
think
gonna
he
hurt
got surgery already.
Yeah. I think he got it already. It was just like emergency surgery, but tough break for the Oilers, but I mean, at least like hopefully for Kane's sake, just for life, even that he regains that full function in his hands. So
yeah, Andrew saying here thought like it could have been the head too right away, because like he was. We'll say he fell down in a battle. We won't get into the rest of that, but fell down, his head kind of snaps back. So like instantly you're kind of already thinking like concussion. I think he even took a Maroon's knee to the head just before the skate hit him too. Like it's like he had a pretty rough time down there in the span of like 5 seconds. So like, initially you're like, oh yeah, like he probably got hit in the head, probably didn't feel good. Like, yeah, something's probably wrong. But until you see the skate or like know what you're looking at, like it's very easy to miss, which is even scarier. But I did watch a video of like a doctor explaining kind of what happened in that scenario and like what could like the potential effects could have been. Yeah. And he was saying that because in the moment just before Maroon's skate hits his wrist, his thumb is pointed up. So, and that just like exposes like the artery in your wrist. Oh, I guess I can go a little higher. And like tendons, nerves, like everything. Like if his hand's in any other position, it's generally okay. But the thumb up was like awful. So
having taken skates to the fingers before, I can tell you it's not a fun time. So I can only imagine like your wrist like across, right? Like not great time. So hoping the best for Kane's recovery there. So I guess with that, that's the end of the live segment, unless you have anything else. I got nothing else.
No, I think I'm good. So if you're listening to this the next day as a full episode, we'll flip over right now.
The finger guns.
I don't know. I just like it felt necessary the first time, and then this time I didn't do it, but it felt weird. So but
Thanos snap.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys. Also to everyone that tuned in for the live stream. For the post game, we really appreciate that. If you want to follow us, you just came across this post game because you wanted some reaction. We are at Quack Report Pod on all of the handles. Obviously, you already know that we're on YouTube at Quack Report Pod because you found us. But if you like it, hit that subscribe button and that like button. And what else? Oh yes, Nate, where can people follow you on Twitter if they want to?
You can shoot me a follow on Twitter at Tatenomas, TATENHOMAS. No, there is not a check mark beside my name because I'm not paying $8 for that shit.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97. I don't have a blue check mark yet, but if all it takes is $8, then maybe. We'll see you guys next time, and go Ducks go.